Welcome back, Guardians. Surely you've seen the news or even experienced it firsthand. The world is ending. The pyramids have occupied the skylines of Io and are on course to Titan. The planets in our immediate influence are fields of war, of death, of unending sacrifice. Our lesser enemies, as Eris has described them, are looking for their opportunities to understand, to consume, to survive. And they see that path more clearly now in the darkness made physical. No longer do we need to wait with shallow breaths of conjecture and theory or speculatory hypothesis. They are here. They are physical, and we know not their potential motivations. We can imagine, speculate, debate as we always have done, or we can reach back out to the shadow that has called to us. The shadow on Io, on Europa, and in the far reaches of our system. Only by reaching back will we truly understand our enemy or our salvation, depending upon your belief. Can Guardians utilize the darkness? It's been a tested theory, even a thought made physical to an extent by the Dredgens, the darkness-minded, but not necessarily wielding fallen Guardians, hell-bent on their own motivations, turned away from light. But their power is still very much that of the paracausal nature. It is not if a Guardian can simply flip a switch, decide what weapon suits them. No, the ammunition. It is the same force, the same power. Paracausality, by its very nature, is designed to be magical, mystical. To understand it completely is to have a higher power entirely. Many would argue, and this report intends to agree, that the war between darkness and light isn't fought on the fields or in the spaces between our planets. Those are merely symptoms of the true battle. The true war is waged for our souls, our beliefs, our own nature within humanity, to trust the thing that never speaks or to be lured by the thing that does. To work within the confines of the traveler, or to be set free from our bonds of servitude by the darkness. But could we utilize this power? To use it would require understanding, would require great effort and a unique measure of uncomfort. But this usage is already occurring. Our drifter has created a machine that can create weaponry and armor from darkness-imbued engrams. We are already beginning our discovery on how to turn this power for us into good. Does that make us lesser beings? Perhaps more clever, but never lesser. To use is to understand, Guardians, to tiptoe across the divided and intangible line of light and dark and walk the middle, deciding once and for all what we believe to determine our own fate. This will be our next steps. Not now, mind you, but soon. You're writing the first chapter, and at the end point of this journey, we will have the opportunity, rather choice, to use this power, this darkness, as a force in our own making, free from gods and words. Our enemies are turning to the darkness. The Red Legion is broken. The Almighty destroyed. The remaining Cabal will either join Callus's death cult or seek his daughter. And the fallen, we have driven them to the edge of survival, turned them against each other. How many will look to the whirlwind for an advantage over their rivals? By pushing them from the light, we have groomed more supplicants for the darkness. Eris is right, we have found enemies, some here since our collapse, some arriving just after, and all we have done is combat them, met them with their own language of violence and death, because if they do not stand with us, certainly they stand against us. The concept is so black and white. There are many who do not see this as certain. Callus, the Spider, and more operate between the lines for their own secretive and misguided interests, of course, but they aren't bound to some unsaid law that they must live and others must die. But what if that is all we have done, Guardians? Pushed our enemies so close to extinction that their only choice is to become true lackeys of the darkness, unify our enemies so completely against us that we reenact another Six Fronts or Red War, but instead of one united enemy, we face a horde of unity, those aligned to the darkness. This is why many worry, and rightfully so, that if we were to follow to the die-hard commander's wishes of forsaking potential education, we won't weather the oncoming storm. This is why we must reach out, Guardians, accept the darkness. Not be lured into simple temptation of turning over the God who has given us life, but rather push ourselves to understand and to utilize the message of the darkness and craft our own message in return, not of the dark, perhaps not even of the light. We should not be so beholden to words or iconography that we are so incapable of using all the advantages on the board. Such dogma provides death. It limits options. It reduces chance. If we seek to win, let our lesser foes turn to the darkness. They seek to win at any cost. We seek to understand to survive. Savathun's interference in our discovery, our opportunity to learn, is such an odd thing, is it not? Two options, potentially more, but for now, two options. The first, she is a potential opportunist. She wants the message of the darkness for herself, wants to contain us to our current causal powers of void, solar, and arc, and wishes to remove any other choice, any other chance. In Savathun's infinite secrecy, she hopes to exude the power and the message of the darkness for herself, her own ambitions, to craft a new hive and take it brood, unparalleled by Oryx's standard, to set the universe on fire. If we had the ability to simply walk within the pyramid above Io, allow an opportunity for conversation, we may not need to work with the Drifter or help Eris or report back to Zavala. We'd potentially have the answer already. The second option, she is a potential ally. Not in the traditional sense, mind you. We certainly won't be sitting down with her and her brood and reminisce over the time we decapitated a family member, culled a horde, devastated a brood, but rather an ally of circumstance. Perhaps she sees that we will fall to the darkness, be so thoroughly lured by it that we will give up our traveler and turn to become subservient. In turn, we will seek her out, remove all those who do not deserve to hold on to their existence, and suffocate them with our force of arm, aligned under a new creed in the darkness. It certainly fits the sword logic. Death welcomes death. It is everything, and those who cannot reach the final shape are to be excised from the universe. In this theory, she knows Guardians do not act unless provoked. We're not building an empire like the Cabal. We are not turning our mind share and flesh to organic machine like the Vex. We practice the sword logic like the Hive, but only when forced to do so. We are protectors. At least we aim to be so. And many would live in a world where we sit in our niche of a tower ringed in spears. Guardians, you are called by the Drifter and by Eris to uncover the paracausal nature of the darkness, refocus it in a force to be used in our favor. The darkness suggests we are in the beginning of a second collapse. The second we declared a golden age, our door comes crashing down with a new enemy, the true enemy. All we can do now is continue to help Eris transcribe messages from the darkness, perverted by the interference of Savathun. Many fear This war is just beginning. But the true war may have been fought between ourselves, within our minds. A civil war long since building, since the days of dredging yore, tolling the shatters, and those that would challenge our conception of the light, the paracausal power we cling to. There may come a time when fire team is forced against fire team from sheer conviction and nothing else, that one side is right and the other is wrong. One is bathed in light and the other is bathed in darkness. Stay safe, Guardians. As we continue to unravel secrets, we scholars will be here to interpret them. Hey everyone, I hope you are enjoying the new season. I actually know I am. I'm actually playing it right now. Just want to let you know that I'm aiming to keep up the schedule, but I am moving right now. So I'm speaking to the future from the past. I guess that's pretty cool. Anywhoosies, more lore coming this week. If you are looking for a group to play with, the Lore Seekers are on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation. Check the links down below for the Discord and some of the invites. You can find them right there. But we're always open to having new people coming on board. We did the raid last night on PC for the first time, I think, in a while, and kicked its ass. It wasn't rough at all. Very, very good. More Cyberpunk this Wednesday and more Destiny next Sunday. Well, maybe not this upcoming week, the one that I'm speaking about in the future, but the week after. Anyway, I'll update you all via Twitter or YouTube comments. I hope you're all doing well. Other than that, I'm out. Peace.